Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and today I will be talking to you about vaccinations and the anti-vaccination movement. Where did this anti-vaccination movement start? It started after an article was published in 1998 by Andrew Wakefield in The Lancet, which is a highly prestigious medical journal. It suggested that the MMR, which is the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, could cause autism in young children. Despite his study using a small sample size, having an uncontrolled design, and having no concrete conclusions, his study gained a lot of publicity. This then sparked the start of the movement against vaccinating young children. Groups of mothers began creating blogs and Facebook pages to discuss their concerns, as well as share with one another their stories of how their children have been affected by vaccines. A mother named Miranda from rural Pennsylvania talked about how an anti-vaccination midwife shared her story of her son's negative reaction to a vaccine. Miranda then proceeded to research vaccines on her own, where she found these stories in blogs that talked about children who have gotten sick or died. The medical industry, quote, purposefully poisoning people, and even the scary list of ingredients, toxins, and mercury that is found in vaccines. Vaccines undergo long and developmental and safety testing processes that last up to 10 to 15 years. There are 6 developmental stages. The first is the exploratory stage. This is where basic laboratory research is found. Scientists identify natural or synthetic antigens, which are substances that wake up your immune system. The next is the preclinical stage. This is where testing is done on tissues, cells, or even animals to figure out if vaccines are safe and if they activate immune systems. These tests are done so scientists are able to see if the vaccine will cause the same response in humans. Next is the clinical development stage. This stage works in 3 parts. The first is where the vaccine is given to a small group of participants, about 10 to 20 people. Once this stage is successful, next it is given to people who meet certain criteria of the study, such as people who are more at risk at getting the disease. Once this stage is successful, lastly the vaccine is given to a large group of people from about 1,000 to tens of thousands of people. This phase is important in seeing how the vaccine reacts in large amounts of people. Once the clinical stage is complete, the next is the regulatory review and approval. After the clinical development stages are successful, a license application must be submitted to the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, where they will examine where the study has been conducted and give approval for vaccine licensing. After receiving licensure, the vaccine begins to be manufactured and continue to be monitored by the FDA. Even after the process of even getting vaccines approved, both the CDC, which is the Center of Disease Control, and the FDA have systems in place for monitoring vaccines in the public. There are 4 systems currently in place. The Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, or VAERS, the Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is VSD, Post-Licensure Rapid Immunization Safety Monitoring System, also known as PRISM, and the Clinical Immunization Safety Assessment Project, CISA. Each of these systems look at vaccines from different perspectives in the public, such as side effect reports, using medical database reports in large populations, health insurance claims, and individualized case studies. So you might ask, well, why is knowing all of this information important? As someone who is a member of the public and as someone who has gotten vaccines, or knowing someone who has gotten vaccines, it's important to acknowledge that while there are many stories being spread around about the dangers of vaccines, that there are safety research and processes going on to ensure that what is being put into the public's bodies are safe. If the government wanted to, quote, purposefully poison people, why put this process into place? After you get your vaccine license, why have these systems in place to monitor vaccines? The government has implemented these practices for a reason. There is a process of testing to provide safe vaccines to prevent harmful diseases through years of researching and testing.